The night began with a sound that didn't belong to the city's usual chaos. It wasn't traffic or sirens or shouting. It was crying, raw, broken, desperate, echoing outside a small, dimly lit mechanic shop at the edge of town. A woman in an expensive coat, knees trembling, clutching her chest, whispered again and again that she couldn't go on, that she couldn't take the pain anymore. People passed by, assuming it was drama, assuming someone else would help. But this cry would change 2 lives forever. Before the story pulls you deeper, take a moment right now. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that one good deed can change everything, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. Daniel Carter was closing his mechanic shop late, his hands black with grease, his back aching from a 14-hour shift. He was a single father, a man whose life had narrowed down to responsibilities and survival. Every bolt he tightened, every engine he fixed, was for one reason only: his 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Since his wife passed away 3 years earlier from a sudden illness, Daniel had learned how to live with silence, how to cook dinners that always felt incomplete, how to hide his exhaustion behind a gentle smile for his child. Dreams had become luxuries he could no longer afford. Hope was something he stored away, like an old tool he rarely touched. When Daniel heard the crying, he froze. He almost ignored it. Life had taught him that getting involved often brought trouble, and trouble was something he couldn't afford. But then he remembered Lily's face the night her fever wouldn't break, the fear that had crushed his chest when he thought he might lose her too. That memory pushed his feet forward before his mind could stop him. Outside, under a flickering streetlight, was a woman who didn't belong to that broken street. Her name was Evelyn Moore, though Daniel didn't know it yet. She was a self-made millionaire, a woman whose name appeared in business magazines, whose life looked flawless from the outside. But at that moment, she looked small, pale, and terrified. Her breathing was shallow, her hands shaking violently. The words she struggled to form were heavy with pain, both physical and emotional. She kept saying she couldn't go, couldn't face it again, couldn't survive another loss. Daniel didn't ask questions. He didn't judge her expensive clothes or her trembling fear. He did what came naturally to a man who had already lost too much: he helped. He supported her weight, guided her to his old pickup truck, and drove through red lights toward the nearest hospital, his heart pounding louder than the engine. Every second felt like a gamble with fate. At the hospital, doctors rushed Evelyn inside. Daniel waited, sitting on a cold plastic chair, staring at his oil-stained hands. He thought about leaving. He thought about Lily waiting at home with the neighbor. But something told him to stay. Hours passed. The sun began to rise, painting the walls with pale light. When the doctor finally came out, the news was heavy but hopeful. Evelyn had suffered a severe panic-induced cardiac episode. Stress, grief, and untreated trauma had pushed her body to the edge. If Daniel hadn't brought her in when he did, she might not have survived the night. Evelyn woke up later that morning, confused, weak, and ashamed of how vulnerable she had been. When she learned that a stranger had saved her, a mechanic who asked for nothing and waited without complaint, something inside her cracked open. She had spent years surrounded by people who wanted her money, her influence, her name. Yet the man who saved her life didn't even ask for her last name. As days passed, Evelyn insisted on finding Daniel. When she finally did, she visited his shop, expecting gratitude to be enough. But what she saw stunned her. The shop was barely surviving. Old equipment, overdue bills, a man working himself into the ground just to keep his child fed. Daniel never complained. He never asked for help. His pride wasn't loud, but it was strong. Evelyn saw her own reflection in him, but reversed. She had everything money could buy and nothing that truly held her together. He had nothing extra, yet his heart was steady, anchored by love for his daughter. Slowly, a connection formed, not romantic at first, but human. Real. Evelyn began helping quietly. She arranged for new equipment for the shop, disguised as anonymous support. She ensured Lily received the best education and healthcare, never revealing her role. Daniel noticed the changes but never assumed. He believed, perhaps for the first time in years, that life might be easing its grip on him. But the biggest change wasn't financial. Evelyn started spending time with Lily, listening to her stories, laughing genuinely for the first time in years. Lily's innocence broke through the walls Evelyn had built around her heart after losing her own child years earlier, a loss that had driven her into endless work and emotional isolation. That was the pain she couldn't go through again. That was why she cried that night. One evening, as Daniel watched Evelyn and Lily drawing together at the shop, something shifted inside him too. He realized that healing didn't always come from strength. Sometimes it came from letting someone stand beside you. Near the end of this story, if it has touched even a small part of your heart, please pause for a moment. Like this video, share it, and let us know through your engagement that stories of kindness still matter. Your support keeps these stories alive. Evelyn eventually told Daniel the truth, not in words spoken aloud here, but in actions, in honesty, in presence. She didn't offer to save him. She offered to walk with him. Daniel didn't see her as a millionaire. He saw her as someone broken who chose to heal instead of hide. The mechanic shop grew into a successful business. Daniel became known not just for fixing engines, but for his integrity. Evelyn found a family again, not bound by blood, but by choice. And Lily grew up knowing that one night, when a woman said she couldn't go on, her father chose kindness, and everything changed. Before this story ends, please comment and tell us what this story made you feel, because your words might be the reason someone else finds hope today. And as the city continued its restless rhythm, two lives once drowning in silent pain stood as proof that sometimes, the smallest act of compassion can rewrite destinies, turning a single cry into a lifetime of second chances.